Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. My name is Luana and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I've been working as a psychic medium since 2019, specializing in twin flame relationships and divine counterparts, and today I thought I would sit down and do a channeled message for whatever wants to come through right now to support you on your journey. So it's interesting because I'm actually feeling guided to start with the tarot today, and I don't usually use tarot cards. I usually just reach for my oracle decks, but the very first card that we have come out is the Five of Wands. Now, I'm actually hearing inner conflict from this card, so you might be going through a period of reorientation. It's interesting because I did a reading yesterday where the whole message and the theme of the reading was essentially you are moving to a new reality filled with abundance and you're leaving scarcity behind. But in that reading, there was messages around you releasing these old patterns and stepping into the new reality. And something that really comes to mind when I see this card is inner conflict. It's this feeling of internal fighting. And it's interesting because as I hold this card up, Spirit is also showing me this image of family, like a reference to family. So you could have family, you could have conflict with family, or this could be a past energy. I also feel that for most of you, this is going to resonate as ancestral patterns coming up to the surface to be released. Ancestral patterns, perhaps there's parts of your subconscious mind that are resisting this new beginning or resisting this abundance, and it's almost this feeling of internal conflict. So I'm actually gonna pull up my frequency tarot cards. These are by Teal Swan. I really love all of her videos and all of her material on inner child healing. It's the same process that I've used in my own life and with so many of my clients. And she has essentially all of these different cards that are different healing frequencies. And so I pull from this deck every single day. So what healing frequencies want to come through to give messages or give healing to this kind of fighting energy? I'm also hearing the word activation. Oh my God. Okay, I cannot make this up, you guys. I shuffled for a bit, and at the very bottom of the deck, we have the Heritage card in the reverse position. But this Heritage card is all about your ancestry, like the patterns that you've absorbed from your ancestry, your family, all of that. It is such a beautiful image. I hope you can see that. Let me read from the deck. I almost feel like reading both the upright and reverse positions. I feel like there's going to be a message in both of them. So let me hold this up so you can see this. So if you have drawn this card in reverse, it feels like the past holds you back. The time has come to separate yourself from your family tree. Stop perpetuating the same patterns and cycles that have not worked for them for centuries. That's a big energy surge as I said that. Like, excuse me, I almost got this sense of like, you can look at the way they've done things and you can see what hasn't worked for them. And you can almost see their downfalls and their flaws. And I'm also hearing the word depression, so that might apply to some of you who are watching, like maybe you have depression in your family line. Maybe that's being perpetuated by some kind of cycle or pattern or trauma that hasn't been healed. But it just feels like whatever this is, you're aware of it when you look at your family line. And this card says, stop perpetuating the same patterns and cycles that have not worked for them for centuries. It is easy to feel like you've been dealt all the bad cards in life, but the truth is all cards we are dealt or choose are cards we are dealt or choose for a reason. Release your attachments to those who wish to hold you back from your progression. Take the time to acknowledge what you have inherited that no longer serves you. That is so powerful. And I really feel like this is going to tie into this energy of fighting, of conflict, of inner conflict. And this comes at a time where it's so important that you're moving forward. This is what Spirit is saying. They're saying again and again, it's so important that you're moving forward, taking steps forward, leaving behind the past. It was a message that came out in the guidebook. It feels like the past is holding you back. So that's really powerful. I'm feeling like there's actually another card that we can pull from the Frequency Tarot. So let's go ahead and pull that. Okay, interesting. All right. So the cards that I pulled were actually two, and it's interesting because I heard feminine energy. So for you specifically, this might be a pattern where your family line or the women in your family line, this applies even if you're a man, because everyone has masculine and feminine energy inside of themselves, but it's almost this resistance of feminine energy, or a resistance towards emotions, or a resistance towards stepping into the divine feminine energy or seeing femininity as weakness. My spirit guides are showing me this image of the archetype of the father figure in the family who thinks that emotions are weakness, and so it kind of ripples out to everyone else in the family line. So that is a message that comes through very strongly. So okay, so we have two cards here. We have conjunction over here, and then we have relationship. And it's interesting because with this relationship card, I feel that this is going to come to play in your relationships with your twin flame, but also with other relationships in general. But I also feel like I need to look up the meaning for both these cards in the deck. And then the second card we have is conjunction, which I've pulled this card before and I know it has a lot of messages. Let's go to relationship first. I feel like there's a message here. Something that I have been receiving though before I read this is I've noticed myself reading for or connecting with a lot of twin flames who are at the point where they're harmonizing their relationship with their twin flame. They're doing a lot of healing. They've shifted into self-love. Like, I feel like you who are watching this are someone who is very spiritually awake, very spiritually activated. And I feel like these messages and these energy activations are coming to you now to help you make that final shift. Like, you're definitely someone who, if you're resonating with this, you've been on a spiritual journey for some time. Even if it doesn't always seem like a spiritual journey on the surface, you have been on the path of awakening, of like looking at your life, realizing these things aren't working, making changes, your intuition is coming online, like all of these different things. So just know that a spiritual journey is going to look different for everyone, and it's not always like the glamorized appearance of what a spiritual journey looks like, especially on social media. So I feel like someone needed to hear that. So this card number 9, relationship. If you have drawn this card upright, the time for a harmonious, authentic relationship has come. This could mean a harmonious, authentic relationship with yourself, or it could mean a harmonious, authentic relationship with someone else. I feel like for you watching, this is going to apply to yourself and to another person, because I just tend to attract people who are on a twin flame journey, or they have some kind of situation going on. That's just, who finds me. You have been craving a union, and that union is meant to be yours. Guys, this is what I talk a lot about in my work, in my programs, and with clients. But if you are someone and you're on a twin flame path and you have a desire for that union, it simply means that it's meant to be yours, because our desires are essentially our soul's way of showing us that that relationship is something that we're expanding into. There's a lot of people like on the internet, and I've definitely seen this, like clients have told me that they've had so many, unfortunately, negative experiences with like twin flame coaches on the internet, or just people kind of preaching from a spiritual lens, I guess, and basically telling them that if they're on a twin flame path, it is completely about themselves and they should let go of any hope of a union or whatever. And I have always heavily disagreed with that in my own experiences and in my experiences working with clients. I just think that's very toxic. I think we're meant to be here to be in relationship, and that is something that I chose for myself on my own path. And I would never sit in front of anyone and dissuade them and say, you're on the twin flame journey, like shaming them essentially for wanting to manifest a relationship. I think that we're at that tangent here, but we're at the point in society where we are so isolated. Like, we don't have a lot of authentic, genuine connection. And I think the reason that this idea of having a relationship with your twin flame is so demonized is because, first of all, people on the internet are projecting their own negative experiences. And there is nothing wrong with struggling and being in pain, right? But it's when you yourself are not at a place where you've harmonized that relationship with your twin flame and done the inner work, and you're at a negative place in your life, and then like you have people go online and come to you, and you're not giving them the right advice. You're almost projecting from your pain. And I think when it comes to guiding people, it's really important that we're doing it from a healed space. And, I don't usually like go off on tangents in these readings, but I feel like for someone watching this, that's going to be an important message, because this is something that I found myself repeating to so many of my clients over the years. Like, they literally tell me, like, your content is a breath of fresh air. Like, there are so many people who have told me negative things, and it just makes me stressed, it makes me feel bad. And I want you to just think about that for a moment. I feel like we're gonna need to be unwrapping some of these limiting beliefs. It's that here's what the guides are saying. They're saying someone else's negative experience or trauma or limitation. Okay, here's what they're saying. Someone else's self-imposed limitations, the boundaries and the limits they place on their own life does not have to be your reality, right? You are actually a completely separate energetic being with a completely separate energetic and physical reality. And so for that person, they might have been limited in those ways. I also feel like this is going to apply to some of these themes around, like when it comes to twin flames, bad twin flame coaches or whatever, and even the bad advice that you get from family members or the limitations that they impose on you, it's not yours to carry, right? And you might even at times feel bad that you are going to a better place or achieving more or having a beautiful, healthy union manifest in your life because of the work that you've done, right? Because of the inner work that you've done. And this is what's been happening for so many of my clients and community members. So it must be something astrologically or in the collective energy, but you don't need to feel bad for that. You don't need to wonder why you're the exception. Here's what the guides are saying. It's not that these other people that you've been seeing struggle on the twin flame journey, or false coaches or whatever you want to call it, and like, you know, people in your family, people in your heritage who are stuck in limitation, it's not that you're the exception, but you are, but it's almost that you have chosen that, right? Like you are the exception to the limitation because you have awakened and you've chosen that, right? That is available for everyone. I feel like you who are watching this might be feeling bad that you're almost getting to a better place, a better feeling place in your twin flame journey, your relationships. There's just more ease, there's more flow, there's more abundance. The struggle is falling away. And you don't need to feel bad about that. And Spirit doesn't want you to stay stuck in feeling bad about that. And okay, you know, another message with heritage, and as we talk about feminine energy, and this is a message that I think if you are in the spiritual community a lot, you will hear this message repeating, but it's essentially this message for divine feminines in divine feminine energy. Even if you're a man, it is about releasing guilt for receiving and for having ease in your life. We can feel bad because we are receiving this new relationship, these new blessings, this new communication from our twin flame. Things are becoming more easy, more abundant, more love. Like maybe you've been working through old triggers and you look around at your friends or your family who are still struggling, and your guides want you to know that is not yours to carry. Yeah, wow, a big surge of energy here. None of that was yours to carry. And from the perspective of your guides, okay, so another message coming through with this card is I am feeling this energy of people around you seeing how you've been making progress, making advancements on your spiritual path, and they almost are, so here's a metaphor, right? You're a crab in a bucket full of other crabs, right? And you're all trying to escape the bucket. When you're at the top, the other crabs are going to pull you down with them so you all stay stuck, right? Like that's a common metaphor that I've heard people use, right? But it's almost a sense of when people are seeing you succeeding or leaving them behind from their perspective, ascending into higher levels of emotional well-being in your relationships. Like, yeah, I'm really feeling and hearing that for some of you watching this, this is going to have to do with your family line. And for some of you, I'm also feeling like a mother energy, past women in your family line who had relationships that were not based in unconditional love, reciprocation. They were not divine counterparts, like women in your family line, or this counts for men too, but where they had, I don't want to use the word bad because, you know, bad is just a label, but karmic relationships, right? And now you coming into this lifetime, being on a twin flame path, it's all about harmonizing with your divine counterpart and having more stability and flow with them. And you might be seeing people being jealous of that beautiful union and that beautiful relationship. And this can be a really painful thing at times because you wonder why they're just not happy for you. Like, why are they jealous? Like, and you might even at times feel the need to compensate or tiptoe around your, like, don't feel afraid to fully embrace and own your union, your relationship, your abundance, the wins in your life. It's really important that at this time you are fully, like the heritage card said, releasing these limitations, releasing these restrictions, releasing all of that, because it doesn't help them. It doesn't help anyone from your past to be stuck on that. So it's just this message of let it go. Let them go, not let them go out of your life, but just release that heavy energy and allow them to have space to come back into your life in a healed state. If you've been through the twin flame journey and you've harmonized your connection with your twin flame, you'll be familiar with this dynamic, right? Like you release them at a lower version, you do the healing and you come back together at a more healed version. That is a process that you can have with anyone in your life, anyone, not just your twin flame. So allow yourself to go through that process. It's just this, here's what your guides are saying. It's almost this attitude. Just be unapologetically yourself. Express your joy unapologetically, because that's going to inspire them. And you fully deserve all that you now have. You fully deserve all that you now have. So yeah, I mean, such a strong message. They're having me go from another deck. This deck was actually gifted to me by a friend who gave this to me for my birthday, but it is the Sacred Cycles deck. This deck is full of artwork of the feminine energy, the feminine body. It's a really beautiful deck for slowing down and shuffling this deck. And also, I think what's so cute about it is it has this little as above, so below. It's that principle of what is within the heavens will be manifest in the physical, and what that really means is, you know, what is within is without. What you have in your inner world is going to be reflected in your outer world. So it's the principle of manifestation. So interesting. Okay, you know what's interesting? We have the card number 28, pregnancy. And don't freak out right away. This could apply to literal pregnancy, and I know it has for some people in my community, but this is not going to apply for everyone, because I feel like most people watching this are not wanting to start a family right now in this moment. There are some of my community members over on TikTok who actually really resonated with the message of starting a family. That's a message that I channeled a few weeks ago, but I'm going to read from the deck here. And also what's very interesting is there's this imagery of the twins, right? Like it's almost like they're twinning. So this is gonna be all about creativity. I already know it. Okay, so card 28, pregnancy. A phase, oh, it says, I am open to receiving support. A phase meant to nurture the growth of what is near and dear, something that requires time, energy, and tending. Pregnancy needs an untold and seemingly endless number of resources. You are being asked to commit to an endeavor wholeheartedly. An idea, relationship, or project has chosen you to help craft and cultivate it. What an honor to be the channel for this. Allow yourself to trust that you are the best person to bring forth this expression of consciousness. It's interesting because it's almost like whatever it is that you're creating, this energy that you're birthing, you are the mother of this creation. And this could even apply to a creation in your own life. And it's interesting because I picked up I think this is a carnelian crystal, but I had it on my desk. I picked this up even before having the insight to channel from this deck. You are so very capable of caring for the people, projects, and dreams in your life that need your love and attention right now. But you don't have to do it all alone. There are many means of support available to you throughout this experience. So be sure to reach out, letting others know that you are open to receive. And the journal prompt for this card is, what am I currently nurturing, and what could I ask others for help with? So in yesterday's reading, we talked so much about abundance. So whatever this is referring to, whatever creative project, relationship, business idea, whatever you're creating, it could literally be like art. It could be something artistic. It could apply to every aspect of your life. And there's this symbology of the snakes on this card as well. And for me, snakes are all about ancient wisdom. And it's interesting because it's almost like I'm also feeling this energy around like an unheard language. So some of you might deal with light language or your words being very healing and very activating. But I really feel that you are nurturing and cultivating something, even if this something is yourself. That's a message that they just said. You're nurturing, cultivating, creating something, even if that new something is just a new version of yourself. There is this theme of birth. Like in yesterday's reading, I started the reading by saying there is an element of death. Something is dying so that there is a new chapter beginning. There's a new phase beginning. And you know, I can personally relate to this because I've been a bit stagnant with my content lately. Like I've really just been focused on client work and in my Violet Flame healing community, just connecting with everyone there. Like I've been very kind of like a hermit, you know, just connecting with a few people here and there. But now I'm feeling all this creative energy to pour into YouTube. Like it feels like a new endeavor, and it's required an old phase of my business to kind of die. Like I used to post a lot on TikTok, and now I'm like gonna go like 110% with YouTube. So for me, that's how this energy is manifesting. So for you, really take a moment to think about in what was the old for you. And you can even write this in the comments if you want to think out loud. Like what was dying for you and what is now being reborn. And whatever this Five of Wands card is referencing, like this inner conflict, this inner turmoil, this fighting energy, allowing yourself to sort through the inner conflict is gonna allow this rebirth to fully happen. You're just moving into this new energy. You're letting the past go. You're resolving the inner tension. You're resolving the inner conflict. And this is a highly creative energy, really having to do with your sacral chakra. And this really resonates with me too. Like so much creative energy, so much new energy. Oh my gosh, I just split my tarot deck. And the first card on the bottom was Eight of Wands. This is like the quintessential, like fast moving, creative. Obviously the wands are the fire energy, fast moving, creative energy. And right beneath that card, we have the Nine of Wands, which is all about like the past, right? Feeling burdened by your past, but being resilient. Like you're almost on the last stretch of this old phase, and this old phase is dying. Like right now, we also have the Tower card reversed below that. Going through an upheaval, going through a massive change, going through these big shifts, and that is moving you into this new beginning, whatever it is that you are birthing. And so that's going to apply to your twin flame relationship, this new relationship in your life, these new creative projects, whatever you're pouring your energy into, even just a new version of yourself, right? So if we think about the energy of pregnancy, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but like when a woman is pregnant with her child, she's literally building the vessel for the baby's body, right? Like this soul is going to come down and inhabit this vessel, its new body, but it takes 9 months for the human embryo to develop, right? There is this phase of cultivating and growing and setting a foundation. And so I really feel that that is what you're going through right now. You're setting a foundation, you're for a completely new version of yourself, a completely new reality. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I really hope this reading resonated. Please let me know in the comments if this message was for you, and you know what it is specifically that you're going through, if you feel comfortable sharing. I'm always so curious, like when I do a reading for a client or a collective, like I'm always so curious to know what it is that's going on, because like spirit only shows me energy. I love to know the specifics. So, you know, feel free to comment down below, let me know, connect with me, and also subscribe, as I'm going to be posting more of these readings, energy activations. If you want to work with me one-on-one, connect with me, join my community, all of those links will be in my description. And as always, I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care.